中国这么大，永远读不完。你所不知道的中国第3季在江苏卫视、荔枝新闻客户端和 BBC 世界新闻频道同步播出。过去的5个礼拜，我们读了5集，先后带大家去了北京和中部、东北、东部、西北、东南。今天整个系列节目即将迎来它的最后一集——西南篇。在多彩西南啊，除了有山水遥望的美景、热力火辣的火锅，其实还有很多令人惊叹的超级工程、古朴鲜活的传统文化等等等等。特别是本集的最后一个小故事啊，将带给您非一般的视觉盛宴。大国风范，中国国园，邀请您收看你所不知道的中国西南特辑探索之旅。我们启程。
大国风范，中国国园，邀请您收看你所不知道的中国。
China is changing. In the last 10 years, it's seen the most extraordinary transformation in every aspect of modern life. Its economy, its technology, its transport, and its culture.
In this series, we'll be exploring one of the most varied and surprising countries in the world. From the remote mountains and diversity of the southwest
to the frozen lands of the northeast. And from huge deserts to teeming cities.
We'll see how people all over China are facing the challenges of the future, whilst preserving the traditions of their past.
Welcome to Tales from Modern China.
China's remote southwest is a mixture of dramatic landscapes and great ethnic diversity. Nestled amidst high mountains, it harbours ancient traditions and breathtaking scenery. Jing will be meeting the rare black-necked crane as it flies south for winter. Jason will be finding out how the coffee plantations of Yunnan are giving tea a run for its money. And Finn will be discovering an ancient rural tradition with an explosive edge.
This is bonkers!
In the mountainous Yungui Plateau, communities have been separated for centuries. The spectacular landscape here has traditionally made communication and travel difficult. This entire region that's scattered with caves and crevices. You know, the rocks here are kind of like honeycomb. Known as karst, it's made of soluble limestone, a crumbly, absorbent rock that is worn away by water, leaving behind a dramatic backdrop of steep hills and deep valleys. 20 years ago, Tauru left her parents on one side of the valley to live with her husband on the other. Although only about 1 kilometre away as the crow flies, it takes 4 hours to walk back to her old village across a gorge over 500 metres deep.
你有没有想他们？
哎呀，想来想去，路太艰高了。哎呀，每年到3、5次没有去嘛，走路太辛苦了，
对，
也要很长时间才去一趟。
那平时如果你要过去的话，是怎么过去的？
哎呀，都是不通车的了，走小路。走这个河边哈，各种木桥，都全部这点是下坡，过完面过河边去全部是爬坡。
But all that is about to change. Over the past few decades, China has been finding ways to build transport links in its remote regions. And in the breathtaking mountains and canyons of the southwest, they needed an extreme solution. Eight of the world's 10 highest bridges are in China, and several of them are here in this region. The newest and most impressive has to be this one, Beipanjiang Bridge. It's the highest bridge in the world, connecting the two provinces of Guizhou and Yunnan. A dizzying 565 meters from the bridge to the river below, it can fit New York's Empire State Building underneath with over 100 meters to spare. I was lucky to visit just before it opened. Constructing a bridge this big in mountains riddled with caves has particular challenges. The possibility of vast holes beneath the earth created huge problems for the designers.
最困难的是把基础给修完，然后把那个锁塔下边，然后采用那个分割扫描，然后把那个岩溶找到了一些，那个有其中这个锁塔基础下边有一个很大的那个岩溶，在勘察中找到，沿着这个方向大概有将近100米，我们都没有找到头。
你说这个洞有这么大，100米长
啊？对，100米长。 如果有大的溶洞，我们装继续往下穿过这个溶洞；如果小的溶洞，我们打钻，然后把那个洞用水泥浆给填上就行。
The physical construction of the bridge was another complex undertaking. Over 44,000 tons of steel were used to create these enormous girders. And to save time and money, project manager Mr. Zhou Daqing and his team had to use some lateral thinking to get them into place.
然后你们是怎么用什么不一样的方法来把它完成的？
和对岸的一个区别就是，它是一个航片一个航片的散的往上面拼，我们呢是这个框架组成一个框架。
哦，整个
组成一个框架，
就把这个就是正方形的，
对，组成一个框架，
就一个很大的一块。
对。
Entire sections are bolted together on the ground and then carefully maneuvered into place. This ingenious system has revolutionized bridge building in landscapes like this.
就是说这是一种施工，特别像我们这山区。
To secure the bridge itself, a cable stay design keeps it suspended from the towers. And like everything else, it's on an epic scale.
哇，这个就是这个桥的肌肉。
对，咱们全桥的这种希拉索的钢丝，如果连成一起，应该是比北京到纽约的距离还远。
哇，这么长？
对，
真的吗？
是。
But this bridge doesn't just connect provinces, it connects communities. Potato farmer Liu Jiaen now has a view of the bridge from his kitchen window.
哇，特别美。
在这里真个美，确实有点美。哎呀，就是我们这个地方能高的主要是山高坡陡的地方，说个直话，这个地方那个就架过桥去。可啥？这个说个直话就说。 我们过去走山路，然后就这个地方走上去，然后我们经常会看那个对面那个地方去，那么就说走得下去1个多小时，爬上去要2、3个小时才爬上去，3、4个小时，然后就整个7、8、10斤洋芋背起，一天背到屋头，这个你像现在这样子几步路，10多分钟，那脚走得要20分钟。
The bridge here is part of a huge Chinese project to open up the mountainous southwest to the rest of the country. And as it does so, it's changing people's lives forever.
For centuries, China has been known all over the world as the land of tea. The Chinese grow over 2 million tons of tea each year. And tea houses like this one are common across the country. But in the big, bustling cities, there's a new drink in town.
Can I have a flat white, please? Today, China is discovering a taste for coffee. The fast pace of life in cities like Beijing has created urban coffee connoisseurs as the Chinese embrace one of the most popular pick-me-ups in the world.
China's coffee consumption has nearly tripled in the past 5 years. It's a market that they are eager to exploit, 3,000 kilometers away in Yunnan province. This is Pu'er, a town historically known for its high-quality tea. But while Pu'er still produces some of the best tea around, it is now home to over 60% of China's coffee production. I've come to meet Li Guangqiong, the manager of Mangjiang Coffee Plantation. It's harvest season, and the Arabica beans are being picked.
This is the coffee itself. Wow, look at this. Look like little cherries. And wow, look, there's the bean. So who are you selling your coffee to?
我们一般卖给雀巢，还有星巴克，还有一些国内的中间商啊、出口商一些大公司的。
Wow, look how fast her fingers are moving. It's all a blur. Professional.
Coffee plantations are also lucrative for farmers here. The average farmer can earn double what they'd get for growing tea and 3 to 5 times what they'd get for growing rice. Back in Pu'er, Yichun Coffee is doing a roaring trade on the high street, roasting beans for local growers. Today, Li Guangqiong from the plantation is here with a batch of her best.
开始转，
应该快了。
变色了。
它是要先那个
脱水。
对，先脱水，脱水完成了，然后再，你看现在就要爆了。
不宜让开太久吧。
烫。
That aroma, that's really good.
所以它噼啪的。
噼啪。
看颜色很漂亮，不知道味道很好，希望很好吧。
For a long time, coffee was an expensive drink in Chinese cities.
That's good.
But now local production is making a real difference to price and culture in places like Pu'er.
以前嘛，大家都认为这个咖啡是那种很高大上、很奢侈的东西。我们自己就有很多咖啡，就普洱咖啡来说嘛，你一杯咖啡成本也不到10块钱。其实呢，喝咖啡完全平常百姓都可以承受的这个消费。
And they hope soon they'll be selling to a bigger market. With 1.3 billion potential coffee drinkers in China, there's a lot to play for. And a first step along that road is holding events like this one in Pu'er's main square. The annual coffee festival allows buyers and sellers to meet and do business.
So look at all these coffee stores. I didn't know there was so much coffee to sell in Pu'er. Everyone's tasting, everyone's interested. There's a competition going on. The media are here. It's a real buzz in the air.
就可以让更多人认识到我们满掌咖啡，可以让更多人分享到它的味道。
And do you drink lots of coffee yourself?
我非常喜欢喝，espresso.
Espresso. So you're a tea drinker or a coffee drinker?
喝咖啡。
Coffee.
The festival also attracts those looking to make money from a growing industry, like coffee entrepreneur Jai Ben.
现在这个全世界的咖啡产量有1亿5千万袋，但是中国现在只喝了100万袋。我们觉得在不久的将来，咖啡会成为中国的一个主流饮品。
The fashion for coffee still has a long way to go. China's average consumption is only a few cups per person per year.
But this young market has a lot of potential. It's increasing by 15% a year, growing more quickly than the rest of the world, and giving tea a run for its money. Coming up next, Jing gets up close to the rare black-necked crane. And Finn takes cover as sparks fly in the world's most dangerous dragon dance.
这是一次非同寻常的讲述，中英联合摄制，全流程深度合作。这是一次激动人心的体验，用国际化视角解读中国传奇。
中国这么大，永远读不完。
跟我一起发现
你所不知道的中国。
6月3日起，江苏广电总台、英国广播公司视觉盛宴同步引爆。大国风范，中国国远，邀请您收看《你所不知道的中国》。
Every year, southwest China is the destination of an epic migration. Each December, a herd of rare black-necked cranes makes its way from the Zhuige County in Sichuan Province 800 kilometers to Dasanbao in the northeast of Yunnan. They settle on a high wetland plain 3,000 meters above sea level, rising above the clouds. These are some of the rarest species in China, known here as the giant panda of birds. In 1998, with their number in the low hundreds, the World Wildlife Fund predicted they'd be extinct in just 10 years. So the government established the Dasanbao Black-necked Crane Reserve. Head of conservation at the reserve is Dao Meibiao. He monitors his herd of cranes throughout the winter. After his morning observation, Mr. Dao follows the cranes to their feeding grounds away from the lake. It turns out these birds are admirably honorable.
合金货它是属于一夫一妻制，那么就说是它对爱情的嘛是比较忠贞的。如果说是它一旦丧偶了嘛，它是终身不娶不嫁，它就是一只孤货，破坏别人家庭。
Oh, they were cranes are not homewreckers. Brilliant.
他们自古以来把合金货视为一种神鸟了嘛。大三宝如果没得合金货了嘛，就没得灵气。
And at the local market, everyone seems in agreement about their special winter visitors.
啊，我们保护它的，看到我们不打它，我们不累它，够活了，这就保护它了。
我喜欢，它好看嘛。
啊，我们都喜欢黑金鹅，喜欢嘛，黑金鹅漂亮。
Official crane protector Chen Guanghui feeds the cranes every day at the lake.
你喂它们些什么东西？
是包谷。
哦 ，popcorn. They're getting fed popcorn. 它们喜欢吃这个。
啊。
In order not to disturb the cranes, I stay in the hide. Feeding time is the best moment to get a great view of the cranes. There are only about 12,000 black-necked cranes on the planet, and 10% of them are right here in front of me.
Oh my God, they love her. Look at them. They're like her friend. And they obviously see her that way too, or they just really like popcorn.
Happily, the population of this herd has more than quadrupled since this conservation effort began 27 years ago.
就说每天早一到这个时候，就说不管做的是啥子事了嘛，都马上就想起来说，哎，1点钟我要喂黑金货，哎，马上就去了。就说我吹口哨呢，就是哎吹了，就说叫他们赶紧哎今天的中午饭来了，开饭了，然后呢他就会发出其他的声音给另外的伙伴了嘛。
I feel so lucky to have been able to see with my own eyes these rare and elegant birds, and to visit this beautiful high barren plain, a small spot in the extraordinary rich tapestry that is Yunnan.
Unlike Chongqing City, the surrounding rural areas are steeped in tradition and culture. In these regions, ancient rituals are still alive and kicking, and one particular tradition is taken very seriously indeed. The quintessentially Chinese custom of dragon dancing. The Chinese dragon dance is most often seen at festive celebrations. And in this part of China, it's so popular they even teach it in schools, like this one, Tongliang No. 2 Middle School.
下，举起了，把举起来。你投哪个位置嘛？
But I've come in search of a more explosive type of dragon dancing that I've never seen before. Here in the village of Gaolo, they've added their own magic ingredient: fire. In a fire dragon dance, molten iron falls from the sky like a rain shower. In a rural culture like this, it's performed to pray for a good harvest. Li Shimin's family have been dragon dancing for over a century.
知道啊，龙它能行云布雨，这就是说有些天旱呐、水灾啊，去渡我们的都兴务龙的。
Fire dragon dancing is thought to have begun 600 years ago in the villages around here.
我们这个活动是祖传下来的，我是已经到我跟我父亲下来就学下来，现在我儿子也学下来了。
Can you show me your dragon？ 有吗？在家里。哎，好。哎，出来了。So this is the pearl. 这是龙珠吗？
啊，这就叫龙珠，就叫宝。
In some dances, the dragon is seen chasing a pearl, which represents wisdom. 那这个呢，就龙头是吗？
啊，这个就叫龙头。
The dragon symbolizes power, dignity, and good luck. The longer the dragon is, the more luck it's meant to bring.
这个龙是10个人玩的。
这是10个人玩的。那最长的是多长
？20米，最长的100米的。
100米的都有。
啊，对比。
I've left Mr. Lee to get ready for tonight's performance, and I've come to explore this village where they've kept this ancient tradition alive. You can really feel here how the life comes from the land and from the harvest. And I can imagine how people in the houses dotted around the hills here would have told each other tales of the dragon and its power to control the rainfall. It's a very local tradition. Fire dragon dancing seems rooted in the working lives of the people here. Evening falls and everyone's gathering, waiting for the sparks to fly. There's an air of expectation as the stoves are lit to melt the iron. 肯定会很危险吧？很危险吗？
不危险，他打竹竿了都不危险。如果里面的竹肯定危险。你如果一打丢了，一落下来就掉到海子上去，那个1000多度，你知道吗？会烫伤的，会烫伤的。
So, flying molten iron is apparently no problem, but there is something Mr. Lee is concerned about. Making sure the iron reaches the exact perfect temperature at the right time. It's a skillful balancing act. If it's too hot or too cold, the show can't go on. 这个会有多少度最高的？
这个最高度有1400度，过度的烫完了，铁水就烧老了，烧老掉了。不亮都不好看。
Time is running out.
还有20多分，10到20分钟就要的了。你看现在这，如果没打到的话，这个摇不起来的。
The heat is on, and to cope with it, they need to use special tools to handle the liquid iron. Special tools, that is, made from bamboo.
你听我说啊，这个木的它会燃明火，燃火它不会，这个它也还是不会燃烧的。
At last, the iron is ready. The crowds are packing into the square, and the 600-year-old show can get started. I'm all togged up, got my hat on, got my safety specs, and I think we're about to begin. But no such protective gear for Mr. Lee's team. Wearing their traditional dress of just shorts and a cloth head covering, the dancers take to the floor, blending art and science in a spectacular tradition. Oh, and we're off! Woohoo! One chap takes out a ladle full of molten iron and is whacked up into the sky. This is bonkers! I think Mr. Lee loves to perform. He had a massive smile on his face. I think he loves fire. Despite my fears, watching this performance with the village crowd really brought home the power of this ancient tradition. And whether or not it ensures a good harvest, it certainly brings people together in this part of China's southwest.
时间过得真快呀！你所不知道的中国第3季也要跟大家说再见了。在这期间呢，我看到了很多观众的留言 和咱们共同分享赞叹与骄傲。当然，还有很多的国外观众，他们说呀，通过这个系列节目看到了此前不知道的中国。中国这么大，永远读不完，真有点舍不得啊。但我想，节目播出结束，并不意味着探索和认知的结束。中国是看不完的秀美山川，是读不完的历史长卷，是品不完的质朴情感。在这个古老而又充满活力的国度里，每一个认真生活的我们，还将为这个国家书写更多你所不知道的精彩。